Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we are taking a look at data residency. So this is the physical or geographical location of where an organization or cloud resources reside. And then you have the concept of compliance boundaries, so a regulatory compliance, so legal requirement by government or organization that describes where data and cloud resources are allowed to reside. And then you have the idea of data sovereignty. So data sovereignty is the jurisdictional control or legal authority that can be asserted over data because its physical location is within a jurisdictional boundary. And so the reason we care about this stuff is that if we want to work with the Canadian government or the US government, and they're like, hey, you got to make sure that, if you want to work with us, all the data has to stay in Canada, and you need to give them that guarantee. So data residency is not a guarantee, it just says where your data is, right? And compliance boundaries are those controls that are in place to say, okay, this is going to make sure that data stays where we want it to be. And data sovereignty is just like the idea of the scope of the legal stuff that ties in with compliance boundaries. So how do we do that on AWS? Well, there's a few different ways, but let's just take a look at some ways that we can meet those compliance boundaries. One, which is very expensive but also very cool, is AWS Outposts. So this is a physical rack of servers that you can put in your data center, and you'll know exactly where the data resides because it's physical. If it's in your data center and you're in Canada, that's where it's going to be, okay? And I believe that, there is only a subset of AWS services that are available here, but, that is one option to you. Another is using services for governance. So like one could be AWS config. This is a policy as a code service. So you can create rules to continuously check AWS resource configuration. So if they deviate from your expectations, you are alerted, or AWS config can in some cases auto remediate. So if you were expecting, you had an AWS account and you're saying this account is only to be used for Canada resources, and somebody launches, let's say, something in another region, then you could get an alert or tell AWS config to go delete that resource, okay? Now, if you want to prevent people from doing it altogether, that's where IAM policies come into play. So these can be written explicitly to deny access to specific AWS regions. And this is great if you're applying it to users or roles, but if you wanted to have it organizational wide across all of your AWS accounts, you can use something called a service control policy. That is just an IAM policy that is used within AWS organizations that makes it organizational wide, okay?